Thank you so much, Rabbi Margulis. And I like to think that it was my work with faith communities in pursuit of justice is what landed me in this position. So I'm incredibly proud to still be able to partner with you all, still be able to partner in this pursuit of justice that we continue to find ourselves in. So just want to thank you for your leadership with Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice. This work is critical, especially as we find ourselves immersed in multiple crises, specifically COVID. That's played a huge role with our office, with the administration, a huge role that you all have played to keep people safe, to prevent unnecessary loss of life. Has been instrumental in our efforts to keep the virus contained. And you all made sure that you kept congregations and the entire community safer at home at the outset when it was incredibly uncertain, when it was difficult to do so. You all stepped up. And then you got the word out about the importance of distancing, the importance of mask wearing, and now the importance of getting the vaccine. And you all have also been vocally supportive in filing briefs in support of this administration's public health order. So for that, I just want to say thank you for your tireless work to make sure that Wisconsin can be a healthy and productive place for everyone to live. And it is the faith community that stepped up, the faith community that answered that call. And I'm incredibly grateful because it would have been difficult. And you made it that much more easy for the administration to do the right thing. And there are so many other issues that we know only intensified during COVID, especially for communities of color, especially for other communities that continue to be underserved, under-resourced, and quite frankly, undervalued. But you've been there every step of the way. Whether it was in pursuit of racial justice, whether it was in pursuit of voting rights, addressing climate change, and supporting a fair immigration reform, and also support for our undocumented and frontline workers. You all were there, and I'm incredibly proud to call you a partner, incredibly proud to call you all friends, and I continue to be grateful for your support through it all, through the good times and the bad times. It's easy to step up when things are going smoothly, but you all show up when it's tough for so many people. And I think that you live out the purpose of respective faith communities in a way that will advance us all as a society. And your advocacy, your dedication here at Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice is especially what we need. It's exactly what we've been calling for over the past year and a half. We need to do the work to continue to keep people safe, and we need to keep up the fight for a more fair, more equitable, more just state. So thank you for being arm in arm partners in this pursuit of justice that we all find ourselves in. And thanks again for having me. Special thank you again to Rabbi Margulis for your tireless leadership.
I'm Caroline Farley, the Program Director at the Linda and Jean Farley Center for Peace, Justice, and Sustainability. Our partnership with the Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice goes far beyond attending, supporting, and helping to publicize each other's programs and co-sponsoring events together. I am amazed by the work that the WFVJ does in our community on issues such as voter suppression, workers' rights, our dinners, Dane Sanctuary Coalition, the Stand on Racial Equity, as well as a myriad of other projects and topics. Bonnie has my admiration and respect for what she takes on as director of the WFVJ and how much this organization has contributed to making our community stronger and more unified.
Thank you, Rabbi. It's been an honor and a privilege to be able to serve with you. I had the opportunity this summer to partner with the Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice in two major projects. We had a press conference that was hosted by my church, which is SS Morris Community AME Church, 3511 Milwaukee Street. And we were able to host a press conference that was organized by Rabbi Bonnie and the organization. And it was well attended by the press and by the community and several faith leaders. And we took a look at the current legislation that's being proposed and legislation that has already been passed and everything that is going on with the restrictions that are attempting to be implemented. And we all spoke against that and how it's against morality, how it's unethical, how it goes against the least of these, how it brings us back to a state of time where civil rights leaders fought against this, and it seemed like we're going back in time. So we were able to express wholeheartedly what we believe and come against that. We did make the newspaper. Yay, we were in the paper. It was well attended by the press. There were about, I think, maybe 8 of us that spoke, different faith leaders of different denominations and faiths, and we were able to get together to make an impact and to let the current administration, government, local, state, federal, whomever, to listen to a voice of reason, to listen to what they're doing to our society and the impact that it has on their society and the impact that it has on children who are watching to see what adults are going to do and how it's going to impact them. I think that we have a responsibility to represent ourselves in an ethical and moral way, and some of the things that are being done goes against ethics and morality and humanity. So that was one project. The second project that we were able to do at my church was to film a public service announcement, again, using different faith leaders of different denominations and faith, different races, backgrounds, different churches, and we were able to film a beautiful 2-minute, which is hard, a public service announcement. It was long and it took a lot of editing, and it was done by a partner of mine. We do several different impact videos and public service announcement type videos for all types of purposes. And when Rabbi shared with me her vision, I said, well, I have the perfect person, and guess what? We won't have to pay, which was the best. Anytime you get a good quality project and it's free. And so my partner lent his services, and we shot the video in one afternoon, and it was amazing. It was powerful. I can honestly say that I watch it every single day. It's just very impactful. I hope you've had an opportunity to see it, but basically it was about maybe 20 different lines, but we all read all of the lines, and it was, again, based on the current restrictive voter lack of rights that the government is trying to implement and pass. And it was, we read this whole page, and then what the videographer did is to cut it where it looked like we were all just doing one line. And so it was brilliant. It was a brilliant vision that she had, and it was brilliant cinematography, the way that it was put together. And as a pastor, I think that our job is more than just in the pulpit. Our job is with the people. Our job is in the community. Our job is fighting against the injustices that we see. It's not enough to preach about it. We have to take a stand outside of our places of worship in order to really make an impact on society. So I want to thank her for allowing me to be a part of this organization. I don't live in Wisconsin. Actually, I live in Illinois. And it's like Illinois and Wisconsin, two different worlds, even though they're close together. And just learning about the things that go on in this state, which is far different than my state, but still knowing that these are the kind of laws that that legislators are trying to pass, it just horrified me. So whatever I can do to be a part of that, I always want to be in the front. I always want my church to be a part of it, and I always want my congregation to be woke.
I really want to thank everybody who is supporting Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice. anybody, whether that's financially or materially or with your time or with your advocacy. Thank you for supporting this great organization. And thank you, Rabbi Bonnie, and to everybody at Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice. As the rabbi said, during COVID, I not only did I listen to the delegation and the request and work to honor those requests and to implement ways to help protect and communicate with our frontline workers, but I really came to rely on the rabbi and this organization for help in keeping workers safe. Obviously, this was a huge issue during the pandemic, still is an issue. And, when we needed to think about how do we get the word out, Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice was one of the organizations that we counted on and wanted to continue to share information with so that they could get the word out as well. And I know that I can count on Wisconsin Faith Voices for Justice to share important community information, whether that's about public health, elections, voting rights, or really anything that's important to our community and to workers, particularly in our community. And I count on Rabbi Bonnie to inform, to advise, to tell me about what's going on in the community, to lift up the issues that we all care about, and to continue the fight for justice in our community. And I'm so grateful. We are so lucky to have you, Rabbi, and so lucky to have this organization in our community. So thank you for your work, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for your partnership with the city. I look forward to it continuing.